U.S. has been under story from the very beginning. Jason Chaffetz, the first lawmaker on the ground in Libya, digging for answers there in the days after the attack. He went to Tripoli. He's live now back in his home state of Utah. And, sir, good morning to you.
Good morning, Bill.
Why now?
I don't know. I don't know what the new information that the government suddenly has to file these charges. These are sealed charges. I'd be very curious as to what these charges are. They could make them public. They don't have to be sealed. If they're an equivalent of, say, a subpoena to a terrorist on the battlefield, the real question is the government committed, is President Obama committed to capture and kill these people? At this point, almost 11 months afterwards, it doesn't appear so.
You don't think he's committed even after this?
Well, I guess what's a little bit, it scratches your head and is a little bit offensive, is to suggest that this is a top priority of the United States government. It hasn't been for 11 months. The most critical time of any investigation are those days and weeks right after. It took our FBI almost 18 days to even get to Benghazi. You've had numerous reporters from Fox News and the Wall Street Journal and CNN repeatedly go in to talk to one of these people that is now charged. We had another person that was incarcerated in another country. We couldn't even work with that government to even talk to the person, let alone grab him or have him turned over to the United States of America. There's not much evidence that the federal government here, the Obama administration, has been committed to bringing justice to the terrorists who killed the 4 Americans.
I keep coming back to the question of why. I mean, obviously you don't think it's a priority for them. Why not?
I don't know. What I've always wanted from the very beginning is to have the same sort of tenacity in getting after these terrorists. They killed 4 Americans. Remember, the other thing that's very important about Benghazi is it was bombed once. Then it was bombed a second time, and there were no consequences. We didn't go after the people who bombed us the second time. And to me, that was a precursor for with the tragic events of September 11th. And so when you don't take care of the problem, it just festers. Now you have these terrorists who are still out there. And that's what we're so worried about, is we don't want this to happen again.
Do you think it's because certain reporters, certain media outlets are hot on the trail of this story, putting the pressure on them to make a move? I mean, what in the world would explain so long? You got a new FBI director? Is that part of the explanation, the rationale now?
Well, remember, it was just last week, 11 of us in the House and the Senate, Trey Gowdy and Lindsey Graham and others, we joined Chairman Issa. We sent a letter encouraging the FBI to get actively involved in this. Then suddenly, one of the other networks, CNN, is doing an hour-long special. And within hours of the promotion of those commercials, these charges are filed. I don't know, maybe that's just a coincidence that it happened within hours after 11 months, but part of me scratches my head and says, well, we just have to keep after them because those families deserve answers, and we as a country have to capture or kill those terrorists. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but it really is it just begs more questions.
Stephen Hayes was on with us an hour ago. He says this is an insult, and you wonder how the families take this.
Well, remember, it was President Obama who said al-Qaeda was on the run, that we were winning all of this. And yet we had 4 Americans killed, and then the administration, rather than prioritizing this, making it truly a top priority, was out there misleading the world, saying, oh, it's just this video. And when you have the Secretary of State months after the fact, when you have Hillary Clinton herself saying, what difference does it make? You understand the true attitude of not only Hillary Clinton, but President Obama. And now here we are 11 months later for them to say, oh, well, this is a top priority. Why wasn't it a top priority when Secretary Clinton testified before Congress months after the attack? It wasn't then.
And charges are one thing, but apprehension and hunting them down is a whole different deal. We'll see whether or not they go that far. One other point here. 5 weeks from today is September 11th. We will be 1 year removed at that point. Jason Chaffetz, thank you for your time back home in Salt Lake City in Utah.